There is a sensational claim coming from one Robert Alai that I want us to look at in this video because I'll try to debunk and maybe look at the untold details about it. Going straight to his Twitter page, Alai tweeted, "Sources within the security structures have revealed to me that the security detail of former President Uhuru Kenyatta has been withdrawn. The security detail was withdrawn yesterday. No reason was given for the withdrawal." Okay, so that is what is it. I saw that tweet and my mind thought of leaders like Sabina Chege, Kanini Kega, and all those who are around President Ruto and are currently working, all those who are around former President Uhuru Kenyatta and are currently working with the UDA administration. It will be a betrayal, grand betrayal, and it will not be in good taste for these leaders that are around Uhuru Kenyatta to accept to be swayed, then they move innocently going to support Rigathi Gachagua to be the Mount Kenya kingpin, only for that mission to turn as a mission against Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And I'm going to look at, I've tried to find out some of the few details. Of course, they're still scanty. There is no clarification or any position statement that is coming out over that. But what I have also gathered is that could be they have been replaced. If they were FP, have been they replaced from GSU to AP, or maybe something is going on. What I know is that the bit of would this be a smokescreen? The security issue, is it a smokescreen that is covering the big thing? Now, because of this conversation, I think let us look at the Presidential Retirement Benefits Act. What that act is saying, so that you will also ask yourself whether you can link the security issue with the discussions about tax evasion, because what the narrative that was sustained in the public is that Uhuru Kenyatta and Uhuru and Moi family are a burden to the hustler. They've been made to believe that when those two families pay taxes, then our economy is going to be solved. And it's very laughable because it's part of the bigger solution. According to that act, I want you to know what is in that act so that you find out yourself where this falls. Retired president is entitled to a suitable office, not exceeding 1,000 square meters, with machines and everything and stationaries by the government. That act also says that retired president is entitled to entertainment allowance, 15% of monthly salary, 200,000 house allowance. House allowance is around 300,000 and per month, and a monthly, which is part of his monthly salary. The salary of the retired president per month is 1.4 million. So this money is supposed to receive it until he dies. And there is a disclaimer hapa mbele. Uhuru is supposed to get 2 personal assistants, 4 secretaries, 4 messengers, 4 drivers, and bodyguards pushing his soon-to-be personal office, and workers that are supposed to be not less than, or rather not more than 34. These will include press secretaries, security officers paid by the state, with the aides being seconded by the government. Now, that is just a skeleton of what is in that retirement benefit. You can Google and also do your own research and just read it, so that you sometimes may like people to get informed, because that is the leverage that we want the bold people who want the bold to have that in mind. Now, however, these benefits can be these benefits can only be enjoyed when still alive or actively, but they can be revoked if the former president is actively engaged in activities of any political party contrary to the provisions of the Act, or where the National Assembly passes a resolution against the retired president or his surviving spouse. I have to look at you, the viewer, in your eyes and tell you there is no disconnection, or rather, let me use it. There is a very good connection between a scare about the security issue, the security detail issue, with the other last tax, or rather the discussions we've had in this country about the tax evasion. I can tell you this in your eyes that if I look at you, we are dealing with something sinister, and I want to treat what Allah is saying as a smokescreen. As to what extent it has been done, number one, I could see that maybe it's not been effected, and they want it to be effected. Maybe it's supposed to start by enjoying them, and it has not been still done, or they have been replaced. I've seen other Twitter users saying, have they been withdrawn or replaced by APs? So there are also unconfirmed reports that they have been replaced by the APs. Now, as before, even during Moi time, I know that Moi was enjoying these benefits. Boma yake, round-of-the-clock security, and everything, and many of his resources were actually protected by the state. Kindly subscribe to our channel. I want us to face the real fact. The discussion, the propaganda that Uhuru Kenyatta is funding Azimio la Umoja rallies is a premise that is being built so that Kenya Kwanza can achieve two objectives. Number one, they will push the president and they will want to blackmail Uhuru Kenyatta to ask Raila to stop the rallies, is when he can enjoy the benefits. By first, they will run with the narrative that because Uhuru Kenyatta is supposed to resign as Azimio chair, and he cannot enjoy his benefits if he continues to be active in political party politics. So they are telling the public that Uhuru Kenyatta is participating in Azimio stuff so that they will invoke implementation of that Presidential Retirement Benefits Act. You don't need magical science. This is something you can just see. They are easily connected. If Uhuru Kenyatta is supposed to start receiving them tomorrow, then maybe there's thing being withheld, and when Alai is then calling the shot, is just making this, then we're going to have this discussion. It has now come from tax, it's now coming to the security. So in terms of the security details, there is a possibility that maybe they've been replaced. Now, the discussion here is not about security of former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta is a very secure man. That one I can assure you. The discussion here is, are we going to implement the Presidential Retirement Act, the Presidential Benefits Retirement Act, Retired Presidents Benefit Act? Are we going to implement? That is the question that we're then going to find out. Because we cannot, as me, I cannot confirm to you whether it has been withdrawn or no. But that rumor, or rather that discussion, brings to question that what I'm saying. Are we going to give Uhuru what he's supposed to get by law, or we're going to subject it to political rhetoric? This is my interpretation. The new complaints by Uhuru funding, there is a consistent narrative that will be built to delay Uhuru enjoying those benefits. It's a psychological warfare, and it's an escalation of Uhuru Ruto wars. What I wonder is in Mount Kenya, where William Ruto was reportedly wanted to replace Uhuru Kenyatta with Rigathi. I don't know whether he successfully did that as the kingpin or himself is the kingpin. Are we going to 2027 with another Uhuru Ruto war? Is it still potent politically? Uhuru Ruto war or rather Uhuru Ruto fallout in 2027, is it still a potent political commodity that Kenyans can listen to? I'm wondering. But then, this is an escalation of that war. The second thing I see is this. Could be there plans by Parliament, or rather UDA team, to review the benefits of former President Uhuru Kenyatta and initiate that debate. That reviewing of it is first to subject it to public court. And when you subject it to public court, they will successfully run with the narrative that what Uhuru Kenyatta is standing to benefit is costing taxpayers more and is supposed to be reduced. You know, that is a discussion that gets to be public. Remember, UDA knew very well that for them to recall the clause that was exempting Uhuru and Kenyatta and Moi families from the estate duty tax, they needed just to go to repeal in the county in the Senate. They knew that was the route, but they decided to subject it to public rhetoric, so that they say that these fellas have not been paying taxes and of course they're a burden to the government. Then after that discussion, they went to the Senate. Now this can come, and what it will come, or rather it will metamorphosize to a review of those retirement benefits. Remember, they were passed in Parliament in heydays of Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, second term, and they may be coming now. Number one, they've been reviewed downwards because they cannot be reviewed upwards with that kind of disdain going on, so that it borders on intimidation of the former president. When he went out publicly to speak, he was exuding confidence. Wao waongee, sisi tunafanya zetu. Ruto team could clearly be revenging against Uhuru Kenyatta, and this is not new. The security question emerged at the height of that fallout with William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. When Uhuru Kenyatta was then out, Uhuru Kenyatta was the president and William Ruto was the deputy president. So I remember Mtaani going out when William Ruto's security details were actually sized down. I think the number was kind of reduced, and some, I don't know, GSU replaced by APs. I remember that discussion going on. But Mtaani going to the parliament to defend that decision, and it went out. It was all bare knuckle against the deputy president William Ruto. So it's possible that there is a likelihood that that could be reviewed against Uhuru Kenyatta. One thing I don't understand is, I ask again, Uhuru Ruto fallout, is it still politically potent? We'll have to look at that in my next analysis. Make sure I don't forget. This could be having an effect in his international peace duties with the DRC. If it borders his security, if it borders his personal round-of-clock security, then he's a man that is in charge of some peace process in DRC and I think in Tigray in Ethiopia. And recently, I think some 2 days ago, there were reports that after a peace deal was signed, some leaders maybe did not obey it and things rolled back. There was also another multiple report that Uhuru Kenyatta did not flew to DRC because president called Shekedi, so that President Uhuru Kenyatta will not land there. So there are a lot of discussion, and it also borders maybe strategy or a signal that President William Ruto is telling Uhuru Kenyatta that is also uncomfortable with the roles he's playing at the global stage. You will not be shocked, and I will not be shocked to see the son of Jomo even leaving that peace job, because it seems he's not getting the goodwill from home. Even the mudslinging and the slander against his leadership and his mantra when he was a president here have an impact on that job he's doing there. You know, when you're a peace person, you must also come to the peace table with clean hands, so that even you give people your profile. I remember in 2007 when Kofi Annan came here, he came here with a very good profile. When President Ruto, former President Uhuru Kenyatta is entitled to bring peace in a foreign country, Back home, people are being told or are being fed with a very bitter venom. Like, for example, how would Uhuru Kenyatta have the audacity to negotiate a peace deal if back home he's being told about a man who never paid taxes? What do you think? It's a bit of staining the image of the son of Jomo. I will come back with full details for if Uhuru responds or any other person responds to this, and you're waiting to see what the public is all about. For those of us, let's meet in the next analysis.